Welcome friends. Now, the last time I did this video, it was the first of its series, and this is the follow-up video to that video, which was, which Bleach faction had the best leader? The four factions, as you know, are the Gotei 13, the Wandenreich, Aizen's army, and Xcution. In the previous video, I had chosen who would be in the video based on who created the factions, which was Yamamoto, Yhwach, Aizen, and Ginjo respectively. If you haven't watched that video, I suggest you go watch that one first. Following that idea, it means today's video will be about those who succeeded them and how well they actually did after their predecessors. Today we'll be looking at Tier Harribel, Shunsui Kyoraku, Jugram Haschwalth, and Aura Michibane. Now, in some circumstances, I had to make concessions as several of these characters were not their heir apparents like Aura and Tier, or did not get to fully show off what they could do as a successor while alive due to either premature death like Jugram. Watch out for 1000 Year Blood War and novel spoilers. So with that, let's go. Number 4, Tier Harribel, Arrancar army. Starting off at the bottom, we have Tier Harribel. Now this assessment of Harribel may not be completely fair, as initially she did not want to be Queen of Hueco Mundo and take over the Arrancar army as Aizen's replacement, as told to us in the short story Nestle Tonight. So it would naturally put her behind the 8 ball compared to the others who were more willing. This modest reluctance didn't help her reign in the Arrancar running rampant after the defeat and sealing of Aizen. It seems she has fully embraced her role as queen by the Hell arc based on Kubo's timeskip drawings, but we don't know what that actually looks like. During Spirits Are Forever With You, she did not help in keeping Roka and Cian under control, and not until Can't Fear Your Own World do we have confirmation that she has control of the Arrancar at all. There are also 2 other major issues working against her. One, that she is ruling alongside Nell, and it seems they hold almost equal status and influence. And 2, Gantenbein has created his own Hollow Kingdom separate from Harribel, where they still worship Baragon Luisenbarn. If Harribel is going to move up, she needs to get the Arrancar organized and moving again, and continue to suppress usurpers like Grimmjow and Gantenbein in order to live up to Aizen's standard. Now, this is something she personally wants to do because she despises Aizen's way of ruling, but at least she needs to get the Hollows in line. Number 3, Jugram Haschwalth, Wandenreich. My boy Jugram. Where do I start? First, Jugram didn't even get to show off his skills as Emperor because he never got the chance. So I'm going to examine his ability as Yhwach's successor from what he has shown pre and post death. So before Jugram's death, it was made very clear he was and always would be Yhwach's successor, even during the Uryu fakeout. Jugram commanded the respect of all of his Sternritter. They not only had so much respect for him that they loved him, but also they felt discontent with their God King. Jugram masterfully instructed his troops and strictly enforced that no fighting policy to keep everyone together despite Yhwach doing everything he could to create conflict. Jugram had the power and demeanor to be an effective ruler, and if not for Yhwach's plans, Jugram probably could have led the Quincy through an era of peace with the Soul Reapers after the war was over. Even on Jugram's deathbed, he assisted in the defeat of Yhwach while still remaining loyal to the men, which to a degree allowed the Quincy to continue to thrive. Now, post his death, we know from Can't Fear Your Own World that Jugram, prior to his death, made secret plans to ensure that the Wandenreich would thrive in case Yhwach was defeated. He had ordered several Wandenreich staff and soldat to collect surviving Sternritter and prepare triage and even warehouses for them to use. Jugram, even in death, made sure that the Wandenreich would thrive no matter the outcome of the war. Sadly, the major reason Jugram can't go higher is because, well, he's kind of a team-killing jerk. Jugram does kill quite a few of his own members. That doesn't really make for a good leader. In a what-if scenario where Jugram got to show off his skills as Emperor, I think he'd be in the number 1 spot for navigating a filicidal maniac like Yhwach ended up becoming. Number 2, Aura Michibane, Xcution. This may be a controversial placement for some, but for me I think it's just right. Aura Michibane grew Xcution from a defunct organization into a few 100,000 members. Now I want to start off with the major criticism of her succession. Ginjo and Xcution was officially disbanded once Ginjo and Tsukushima were killed. But at the behest of Tokunada, Aura took back up the title of the organization and turned it into a religious organization. Now some would say, well, all of this was Tokunada, you can't give Aura credit for this. Despite following Tokunada's orders, she was still left with the how-to part of the job. Aura used her Fullbring powers to convince people to join them by performing miracles. And further, she channeled her Fullbring powers through these zealots who would end up giving their lives for her and her plans. She did the heavy lifting. Aura grew Xcution from a handful of Fullbringers to an officially recognized religion, which came a lot closer to succeeding in Ginjo's revenge plan than Ginjo himself ever did. Even more impressive for Aura is that she successfully led a coup against Tokunada eventually, who had put several stopgaps in place to prevent her from doing so. This is after she successfully recruited the original members of Xcution like Ginjo, Tsukishima, and Yukio to her side, which in turn gave Ginjo, the originator of Xcution, the revenge he truly sought against Tokunada. She then made sure Xcution would succeed past her death, just like Jugram did, by preemptively leaving control of Xcution to Yukio, who at this point was a rich tycoon. Despite starting as a puppet leader, Aura grew Xcution into a successful group that has better stability right now than the remnants of the Wandenreich and Arrancar armies. Number 1, Shunsui Kyoraku, Gotei 13. Shunsui Kyoraku, man, what a journey. Kubo brought Shunsui from obscure, grizzled veteran who is the beloved pupil of the head captain and best friend to the nicest captain, to one of the most thoughtful, philosophical, conniving, yet kind characters in the series. All of these aspects from start to finish made Shunsui Kyoraku number 1. In the midst of personal tragedy with the death of Yamamoto, in the midst of war, and in the midst of losing and watching the Gotei 13 lose, he ended up guiding them to victory. Shunsui's shrewd and conniving nature allows him to rely on methods and people like Unohana and Mayuri, something Yamamoto himself was reluctant to do. But Shunsui makes it clear that he is doing it exactly for Old Man Yama, for Unohana, for the sake of the Seirete and everything they built. Unohana and Mayuri both are pivotal in the war, and without both contributions, the Gotei 13 gets swept completely. But Shunsui is not content in just filling Yamamoto's shoes. He takes his role as leader of the Gotei even further by offering amnesty to former members of Xcution, the Wandenreich who were abandoned by Yuhabal, and even Hollows. Instead of simply following tradition, he expanded Soul Society's influence and built bridges that Yamamoto could not. And in the vein of Yamamoto, Shunsui remains a force on the battlefield. Shunsui was willing to face down the Grandmaster of the Quincy, the man who is only second to Yuhabal. Then, in a 1v1, he almost defeated Liebaro, Yuhabal's elite guardsman, and nearly succeeded in defeating him, the character who's probably one of the most hacked in the series. Shunsui tried to embody every aspect of Yama, but also built upon the things he knew Old Man Yama wanted to. And for that, he gets the number 1 spot. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Please and thank you. Tell me if I messed up or where you would put them. If you haven't, please check out the first video as I plan to continue this series. I do like this one, so I'm going to continue even if it doesn't do well. Also, check out some of my older videos, like what is the best race in Bleach. It's probably my most popular video on the channel. And Ichigo is an assortment. That one is doing really well too. I plan on doing like a live stream response to that video. And to that one comment on the race video, yes, I know they're not actually races, but it simplifies the description for the video. Love y'all. Be safe. Have a wonderful day. Bye.